A very, very warm, good afternoon. This is Arunava Chaudhary at an unusual time here on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. It is Saturday, the 26th of April, 2025. We are in between two matches of the Kalinga Super Cup. In the first one, Kerala Blasters FC played Mohun Bagan Super Giant, and Mohun Bagan scored a 2-1 win against the Blasters. So that means Mohun Bagan Supergiant are the first finalists of the 2025 edition of the Super Cup. And the Blasters can only question themselves, I guess, after such a result, because this was most probably their best chance once again in a while to try and lift silverware potentially. Convinced against East Bengal FC in the earlier game, but today couldn't keep it up. And in the end, Mohun Bagan Super Giant, despite not fielding key players, fielding mainly players who are on the bench from the reserve team, and respect, because I myself yesterday had said that I thought, you know what, this is the chance for the Blasters to move along, to stay in the competition, but they couldn't. And Angry Bird says KBFC is disastrous. High Blue. I think this disastrous, to some extent sums it up. Very, very disappointing, I would say, because when your coach seems to settle well, and then it doesn't, the team can't hold it together. And this is, how often have we seen this story with the Blasters? And it repeats itself once again. And on the other side, Mohun Bagan Super Giant turned up again. It was Salah Plus Ahmed with the first goal in the 22nd minute, and Sahil Bhatt in the 51st minute to give a 2-0 lead. And only in the 94th minute, MS Shrikutan with the consolation goal for Mohun Bagan, who, of course, with this, stay in the competition. Angry Bird says Dheeraj had a decent outing, by the way. Yes, and not only that, the problem with Dheeraj is, as I said, a keeper like him, with his capabilities, with his possibilities, has to play football, has to play regularly, and can't be sitting on the bench, and that's something that he will have to, decide for himself. Where is the route to being a number one somewhere in the ISL, because that's the most important thing for him. Someone like him has to play regular football. Genuinely seem not first team of Kerala Blasters. Yes, it doesn't seem. And again, to look at it, that Mohun Bagan only played with one foreigner, while the Blasters had Drincic, Lagator, Jimenez, Sadui on the field. So therefore, Kwang Pepra even came on in the second half. And was it the Adrian Luna effect? I don't know. Was it that's going to be something. Yeah. See, hearing Dheeraj to Punjab, see, hope it's true. Let's see. Would be an interesting move, even though, of course, so that is something. Surely Dheeraj is leaving Mohun Bagan next year. Priyansh and Bukhari might get promoted. That is, of course, an option. Anwar Sheikh is, of course, also still there. Guess I still need better foreigners now. No, Pranjal, they don't. It is a knockout competition. It's a knockout tournament. So your form on the day also, in my opinion, counts. But it does give you an outlook also into the mindset of the teams, of the clubs, right? To me, a result like today shows you the mindset that is there in a team like Mohun Bagan Super Giant, and maybe the lack of it in the Blasters. And that's shown again, and therefore Mohun Bagan are double ISL winners in regard to winning the League Shield and winning the ISL Cup, while the Blasters are still searching to win some kind of silverware in 11 years of existence, and that's something which is it's something which is there, and therefore to me, as I said, Katala, David Katala, the new coach, I thought after the East Bengal game, you know what, looks genuine, and he's got a task on his hand. He's got a difficult task on his hand to make this work, and let's see which players are released. What's the second game? Second game is FC Goa versus Punjab FC. So let's see what happens in the second game. Blue says, can't believe these Blasters won with so much domination against East Bengal FC. Blue says a lot, I think, about the Blasters on one side, but says even more about East Bengal FC, who have been struggling, who are struggling, and certain things mentioned by the East Bengal head coach, and Oscar Bruzon about his team. So therefore, it shows you the gulf in difference, the depth also that a team like Mohun Bagan has. I've always said, the squad is very, very good. But again, these Blasters today not able to really take on this Mohun Bagan squad. Looking at the squad, I mean, of course, you got Dheeraj in goal, you had Nuno Rice in there, Dipendu Vishwas in there, you had Tangri, Kurunian, Sahal and Abhishek. So you've got a few of them, you would say, who are in and around the first team. But still, that's not for the Blasters. I feel that's not good enough. So that's doesn't really help. Hi, Ionit, welcome back. Now Dipendu should be given more chances, and Mohun should not go for any other defender. He was rock solid today, blocked some obvious goals. Angry Birds, yes and no is always the question to something like that. From the logic of giving Dipendu more time, yes, that makes sense. But a team like Mohun Bagan will then tell you, know what, we're always going to be a lookout for another centre-back, Indian centre-back if available. They are in the market and they're looking in the market. So let's see if they can factually find someone who fits into their requirements. So that's going to be the big thing, I think, for them. Can they make something out of this? Jesus is constantly losing easy chances. Yeah, missing Blue. A problem for him, right? A problem for him. Jesus Jimenez could have easily scored a hat-trick against East Bengal, and that's, I think, let's wait and see what happens. Hopefully FC Goa wins. What's your thought on FC Goa's future next year with that Manolo, assuming ISL happens next year? Pranjal, FC Goa will be okay. They've got a good squad already. They're going to be replacing a few players here and there. But I think overall, FC Goa's structure is quite sorted, I need Dheeraj at Punjab. He was so promising during his 17 days, yet is a victim of choosing wrong clubs at the right times. Punjab could be his perfect destination. Simon, could be. I'll continue talking. To me, Simon, yes, that is a factor that I think you've mentioned it very, very rightly, that these big clubs, he's got his chances as well. Let's not lose that fact, right? At FC Goa, he got quite a bit of chances. Couldn't keep up with the promise. And on the other side, of course, we've had the situation that he's then been at clubs where other goalkeepers have been better than him, and that's something which factually is then right, and he hasn't been able to do anything about it. To me, it's not easy, but Dheeraj has a certain potential. But Dheeraj is also, if you see him in his outings, when he goes off his line, has had problems. On the line, he's one of the best India most probably has, or one of amongst the best. But on the other side, that's the thing that he has to improve, and he's not been able to do that in the last 2 years, and therefore he has been struggling with the same. And things have honestly not improved, and that's a reality for him, and that's something that he needs to seriously work on. One Salah for Liverpool, another Salahuddin for Mohun Super Channel. Look out for this kid in a few years. Good backup for Manveer. Not both Manveer Salah, different type of wingers, playing styles. Yeah. SB Sports Extremes, if you want to take it to another level, I said one Salah for Liverpool, one Salah for Bengaluru, and another Salah for Mohun Super Giant. If you want to, there is a real Indian version of a Mohamed Salah, even though he's a defensive back. But yeah, because we don't have too much difference in defenders in terms of Indian standard. On the one side, on the other side, yes, but I guess if they can, again, there was this talk about Mehtab Singh being a target for Mohun Super Giant. So let's wait and see what happens on that. What went wrong with that South Korean club which lost to Al Hilal 7-0? Well, I didn't watch the match, so from what I see is the result, right? I saw that 7-0 as well. Again, Al Hilal is one of the top teams in Asia, and if you concede and Al Hilal get going, they are a very, very difficult entity to play. Is it good working footballing ecosystem really needed for a country to make a big footballing country? Yeah. Some sort of working ecosystem in football is needed for a country to be successful. Yes. Any idea how new coach for FC Goa? Pranjal, there have been some Spanish guys who have been in the mix, so we'll have to see. New fans were doubting Kurunian. Hannibal, I said this also when Manolo called him up, that I thought it was a wise move, somewhat of a surprise move. But Ashik Kurunian, if fit, is better than most of the other wingers that we want to talk about, and so therefore Ashik Kurunian has a certain level of class, and that's it. What went wrong for Karabas FC today? Subhash simply said the result. Right, first the result, and so yeah, it's the Blasters. Dheeraj last year had a couple of disastrous performances. Angry Birds, yes, not only that, especially that semi-final against Mumbai City, where of course Mumbai City turned that goal, the 0-2 into a 3-2, and so therefore. Yeah, it's had those. Bastabda believed in Kerala Blasters FC, says Angry Birds. Dheeraj had worst performance in FC Goa. Yeah, Subhash, not all. He had some bad games in there, but he's had some good ones in there as well. So therefore, just to say that he's had bad games would be, I think, not appropriate. But Dheeraj has a certain level of potential, performance level. So that's that. Fresh Mohun Bagan stronger than Kerala Blasters. Yeah, Prashanto. And that's the charm of these one-off cup matches where, you will have, and therefore, that's where we are, right? So therefore, congratulations, Mohun Bagan, on this win. And Kerala Blasters, another year, another season without a trophy. I think that's the summary of this. By the way, is Real Madrid going to Spanish courts against Ref? Blue, they can't go, right? They would. I mean, what Real Madrid is doing in Spain, if we think the behavior of the clubs in India in regard to refereeing is shameless, right? And we can talk about the Blasters, we can talk about East Bengal, we can talk about certain coaches in Owen Coyle, Gerard Zaragoza. Real Madrid are in all next level. If the referee in the pre-match press conference interaction tells the media that his son gets hate and abused because of his father being a referee, because Real Madrid said something like that, and Florentino Perez says that, I think they need to be sanctioned. I seriously think that the Spanish, and this is something Real Madrid said that they were thinking of pulling out. Why don't you pull out, Real Madrid? And this proves you one point that I say, and it doesn't matter where in the world you are. You as a club, as an individual, are never bigger than your local league, your country, and the game of football. Real Madrid, with this behavior, which is not new, right, is bringing disrepute to football. So that's something. And are we want to talk about all the advantages that Real Madrid got from referees, especially in the Champions League? Let's then talk that. I think Fiago did a very nice video on that topic in regard to German clubs being a disadvantage, or not only German clubs but the national team against Spain. So therefore, Real Madrid will never say that. So therefore, it's a joke. So your latest expos, Real Madrid would be a good addition to the I-League. Yeah, let's see. Sorry for being late. How come first squad was he lost to B team Mohun Bagan? Aditya, that's football. Isn't that the charm of football? That a first team Carabasas cannot be a reserve team Mohun Bagan. So, yeah. I cannot believe who Sorisha needs to take the game up like Mohun Bagan. Aditya, yeah, Manolo knows. Sorry, Manolo, I'm saying. Molina knows what to do, how to get results out of his teams. That's another factor, right? So therefore, that's something which David Catala needs to work on. And let's see. Luis Gracia is going to have a good fight for the left wing position against Ashik. Yeah, he will. Ashik is someone that needs to be counted. What do you think about all the Copa del Rey bullying of West Ham? Aditya, I just said it. Unacceptable. And I think the Spanish FA, La Liga need to take a stand. But yeah. Suhail was decent with his pressing over Drinchich, which finally paid off. Yeah, it was good. But yeah, even Milan Drinchich, second season, not as good as his first season, right? Not surprising, they, meaning Mohun Bagan Supergiant, looked more committed than Carabasas FC today, but they also missed sitters. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. And then therefore that commitment part is very, very important. And Aditya replies, Simon, it doesn't matter if they miss sitters, it's a B team winning against A team. It does, Aditya, but that's football. Again, why are you, again, as I said, this happens in football. And, like I said yesterday, I thought Carabasas were in a good flow, but was it a good flow? Or was it, if you want to now interpret it differently, were East Bengal that bad? Right. So therefore, these things, so therefore, these are things which we need to look at, and yeah, it's something. It's something which we shouldn't forget. So therefore, for me, Mohun Bagan deservingly went on to beat them. The record of David Catala is not looking very good for me, unlike Lobera, who took Las Palmas to La Liga from Segunda Division. Has been sacked 3 times in 4 seasons. Aditya, all these stats are nice. It's to figure out if a coach fits into your system or not. And that is something which, again, it is on the Blasters management to figure out. And let's see what he can do, if he can do that at the Blasters. Hi, SCT Carabasas lost to reserve team owner. What does it tell about Carabasas as a new coach? That they have a lot of work ahead of the new season. East Bengal, are they happy and sad today? Says Angry Bird. If we see La Liga always favors Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, like that, Olmo registration Real Madrid always gets favors. Yeah. Very, very true, Blue. And that's part of the problem. Finally, your club, Mumbai City, facing your second favorite club, Interkashi. Aditya, Interkashi is not my second favorite club. Who told you? I just support them from the outside as friends run it. So I'm not a Interkashi fan or something, anything. No, it's and So therefore, I don't know where you come to that assumption. Yeah. So yeah. So therefore, Mumbai City all the way. I take my words. Last time I told you Kavas had a better striker than Mohun Super Giant. Zero. Lelouch, that's football, right? You said something. I also said yesterday that I would favor the Blasters to win, but on the match day they have to perform, and the Blasters didn't perform, and therefore they lost. So that's the reality as such, right? More than 21 minutes on this Saturday afternoon or evening live. It's 7:31 p.m. in India. You see what you hear. Please do leave a like. Yeah, do watch the shorter videos that I make on a daily basis. Today I did something on regard to the AIFF and Reliance. What's the status? Will they be able to agree on a new MRA was the topic. Yesterday it's something on the Classic Football Academy, why they're not playing the Next Gen Cup. And yeah, do keep on supporting. And yeah, I want them to win the Super Cup. Carabao FC says 0. Lelouch. Yeah, then it's part of history. And the thing is, let's see. Kataka is a fluke. I still say it. Home played rubbish. Didn't shoot what was. Now was beaten. Masala each and every time. Angry Birds. Let's see. Let's see where you are on that. Am I mute? Hello? Am I mute? 1 second. Am I mute? No, I'm not mute. So yeah. So that's Kataka is a fluke. I say it. Home played rubbish. Didn't shoot what was. Now was beaten by Salah each and every time. Angry Birds very simply said, the players have to also step up. Yeah. So let's wait and see. Katala has a lot of work over the summer to plan, and let's see. Can't believe this club snatched Edmund from my hands. Has he been snatched? And was he actually in talks with Odisha? It's the legacy of the Kerala Blasters FC. Let's see, Aditya. Do you think ISA is getting too long, like we don't get to organize a proper cup? SCT, I don't think so. The problem is, I think that the AIFF needs to find a proper window for the cup, that it works into their schedule. That the cup is played through the season, in my opinion, is very, very important down the road. If that can be done, I think that would help Indian football. And the AIFF needs to find a window to have a proper round of 16. Yeah, quarterfinals, semifinals, and final, and then and build on it. So therefore, that's going to be the big thing for them. And yeah, round of 16, round of 32, and then quarterfinals, semifinals, final, and then to the cup. Okay, hi Utsav. Strange to say this time. I've got it lit on a commitment, and yeah, so therefore, like yesterday, a little earlier than planned. Okay, understood. Colossus should renew their MOU with Spurs for a long duration. That's Angry Birds. Yeah, it's another club, right, who's not been able to win things. Is Edmund to Colossus real? Hannibal, there are rumors which says that there have been conversations, but I think it also depends on Intakashi, in my opinion, because if they get promoted, does Edmund actually have a reason to leave? That would be my question. And if if I'm right, he still has a contract with Interkashi till 2026. So therefore, then I would question if the player actually factually is leaving, or is it just a rumor that has been put into the market, which is the thing that I feel is the situation. So therefore, Edmund to Blasters. Let's wait and see. But I think that it to me doesn't make sense, right? With all the strikers who failed at the Blasters, Indian strikers. Do you think Ishan Pandita should leave Kerala Blasters? Yes, SCT, I think so. I think for Ishan to play regularly is going to be very, very important. So therefore, let's see. But to me, it makes sense for him to leave and get yes, there was in fact final stage, but according to the reports, they weren't given birth to the CCO on probably a better day than we could give. So yeah, no. Again, according to reports, Aditya, that is not a fact, right? So doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense because he still has a contract, right? Is Edmund on loan to Kashi, or do Kashi own it? I think Bengaluru loaned him out. Utsav, he's Inter-Kashi player. He was originally on loan, and then he was bought by Inter-Kashi. That's why last summer they tried to enable him to go abroad, right? He tried in Canada and couldn't make it in the Canadian Premier League. Mohun Bagan second team is better than Kerala Blasters, and they're better than East Bengal first team. Yeah, that's a fact. Hanwar says a Sri Lankan guy posted newspaper pic of Sri Lanka Football Federation organizing South Asian Super Cup in September. Okay. Hannibal, do you know, is it a club competition? Is it a national team competition? What is supposed to be the South Asian Super Cup? Why didn't Haricharan didn't make it to the main team of PUC this season? Question. Yeah. Because Jared Gosa, it seems like Jared Gosa and some others in the team didn't believe in Horicharan. And there are other players as well who, Jessel Canero was another one who seemed to have moved out. So, yeah. Let's see. Just putting shadow over my words for that, according to the reports, but please try to understand. Aditya, I don't need to understand. You guys put out things as selling as facts that these things happened, right? And I question everything. And I say, listen, the player is contracted. If Inter-Kashi wants to release the player, then we can have a conversation. Do you think that Inter-Kashi is going to try and release the player? Inter-Kashi is trying to fight to get into the ISL. I think it's the best opportunity for Edmund to get into the ISL and play in an ISL team. So why would he leave? And he still has a 1-year contract. So the people who are putting this out, do they really know? Oh, of course not. It's a national team competition in September window. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Your opinion regarding Mohun Bagan's performance today? Zorawar, clinical, practical, they needed to get a job done. And Mohun Bagan did it, right? Mohun Bagan did it to move into the semi-finals. And besides moving to the semi-finals, they also gave exposure to a lot of players who have played little to nothing in the ISL season. So that's it's a double win, So how's the level of Arab countries second and third division like Saudi, Qatar, Canada, Indian ISL player get playtime for development? Utsav, none of these nations will take players in the second or third division. Second division, the big teams, right, and the second division in those leagues, they're quite good. Quite good teams. And Indian player, Middle East, why would a team take him? My simple question, right? And that's the difficulty. Right. So therefore, if you look at it, it will always a question if someone would would be willing to take on an Indian player. And I don't, honestly, if you ask me, I don't see any Middle Eastern team looking to sign any of the Indian boys. And why? My question would be, why would they? Why do they need to do that? That's the point. Imagine Ismail losing against this. I think you don't need Kerala Vasis. I think to Mohun Bagan. Yeah, would have been embarrassing, right? Would have been embarrassing, and that's a reality of things. East Bengal is nowhere near at the moment where Mohun Bagan is. That's if they like it or not. Can your ISL teams have names like Blaster Dam or something like instead just FC? I don't think Blasters, because that just Dynamos, could potentially, um, but they could have names United or whatever. But yeah. The way Al Hilal played in AFC Champions League Elite yesterday, I think Indian clubs are far behind. Beating a South Korean club like that. Aditya, yeah. I mean, is it worth the conversation in that way? Because it is on a different level, right? So we are nowhere near. Your opinion regarding Saluddin seems like a better alternative to Manvir. Seems like could be something, but again, he has to prove it on a regular basis in club football, right? So that's going to be the challenge for him to prove it on a regular basis, and that is something which is not easy. Yeah, and that's something good. Good evening, sir. 111 to 1,000 blasters. Yeah, okay. According to Transfer News, clubs are slowly getting the interest on Moroccan players instead of overrated second the Spanish players, which is not surprising at all. Yeah, but again, every Moroccan will not be, Aladdin Ajare or Bema Mer. There have been other players who've come and who've not been able to get results. So therefore, yeah, let's see. Maybe they can accept lower wages compared to local Arab player, compromise on money for playtime. But why? Why would someone? I mean, these clubs are paying amongst the highest salaries in Asia. Why would they take on an Indian player? I still don't know. And the Indian players are, for their standards, way overpaid. So I don't think so. I think they like money. Yeah, I don't think so. Feels sad for Calabas to see, despite the fan base, the team always lets down. Who's the main culprit, in your opinion? Oh, I think it's not just the main culprit. I think that in the Blasters, I think a lot of things have not worked. One has to be honest about that, and that's, I think, the challenge. I think for the Blasters is to find solutions to their problems, and they've not been able to find solutions to their problems in regard to winning critical matches. Right? I mean, they've been in the ISL finals. During Super Cup, I thought that they had opportunities to get results, and they've never gotten those results. So therefore, for me, the Blasters are a good example of, could have achieved so much, but never achieved it, right? What do you think about today's second match? Second match, FC Goa, Punjab. See, if you want, I quickly can go through the lineups. So FC Goa is going to play with Ritik Tiwari, then with Boris Singh, Sandesh Chingan, Uday Ona, India, Akash Sangwan in defense, Carl McHugh, Ayush Chetri sitting in the defensive midfield, then in attacking lines, Udanta Singh, Borja Herrera, and Dejan Drasic, and the hat-trick man in the last match against Gogan Kerala, Iker Goruchena up front. And according to the lineups that Punjab see, is Mohit Shabir in goal, Lumding, Paramveer, Mite, and Abhimite in defense. Nikhil Prabhu, Ricky Shabong in defensive midfield, Nihal Sudesh, Mohammad Suhail on the wings, and you have Pulka Vidal as a playmaker and Yaku Makis up front as the lonely striker. Salahuddin won hero of the match. Again, good for him, at the end of such a season. And, it should be something, it shouldn't be an issue as such. So he needs to prove and showcase himself. I don't think all clubs are owned by Saudi investment funds. They're not owned all by Saudi investment funds, but they all are owned by someone who's a rich Arab, right? So they've got all money. Sir, if no Middle East, Southeast Asian, East Asian, European club, where can Indian player go? Nowhere. Except if people try and work out something to enable Indian players, nothing will happen, because whatever we talk about, there is no one waiting for Indian talent abroad, right? No club, no entity is waiting for Indian players abroad at this moment in time. Let's be honest about that. Das and Dynamos were name feels childish. I mean, imagine a team named Madrid Blasters or London Dynamos. Hannibal Blasters, of course, yeah, we can discuss about it, but it has its flair, with the Kerala Blasters. And Dynamo is a Dynamos in India, but Dynamo is something which is a name which exists, right? You've got Dynamo Dresden in Germany, a big entity, top of the third division at the moment. You've got Dynamo Moscow, you've got Dynamo Kiev, you've got Dynamo Bucharest, Sofia here, there. So that's a very, very regular name. According to rumors, the way Northeastern is planning their transfers, Banal is planning to replace majority of Northeastern foreigners with Moroccan foreigners. Let's wait and see. How many foreigners in Goa, FC Goa and Punjab FC starting? Just let me check. Goa have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because they only have 5, so Sadiq no longer is there. And Punjab have 1 and 2. Punjab have only 2 starting. Yeah, but Punjab have also some. Wait 1 second. Who's on the bench? Novoselic is on the bench, and Masek and so they've got 3 foreigners on the bench, and yeah. So Asmir Suljic, the goal scorer from the last game, is missing. Even after that, rich Arab countries still have a lot of money. The other Arabs on Africa, like Egypt, which have a good grassroots player. Indian players can try in Africa, but that's not worth. Aditya, who's going to take it again? My question is, why would someone in Africa take it? The problem is also for an Indian player to go to Africa. Will they really go to Africa and try and prove themselves? Do you think that? Just think about it before you hit out. Just, guys, always think yourself from the other's perspective, right? With all the players and the talent available, would someone actually factually be looking at India, right? It's an American thing, copied from baseball and basketball. IPL team also followed. It's a right copied from American sports. Yeah, branding of, you name baseball, basketball, name American football, name ice hockey, even name soccer as a name. Yeah. Kerala Blasters lost his perfect half partners. Yes, it did. Soviet states used Dynamo. Yeah, Dynamo, as they called it. Dynamo Zagreb to Moscow. Yeah. So when we are at deadlock, no one wants us. League quality is poor. Indian strikers don't get any play time. So what does it mean? Simple question to you all. What does this mean? This means that we need to do more work within India. We need to improve, right? Grassroots, youth football, and then build on top of that. That's the only way forward. Great to see Suhail score today. He hardly misses when a good chance is created. A good quality as majority in strikers miss even simple chances. Yeah. Then you know, Suhail falls into the East Bengal David category. Cricket has made plastic T20 leagues and teams are named starting with MI Cape Town. or Sunrisers in Africa. Yeah, anyway, but those are owned by these Indian franchisees, owners. So therefore, they have given them similar names. Like in Congo, Gabon, Nigeria, the Indian players can play, but again, they will not go to places like that. Aditya, why would again Nigeria, with all the talent they have, and if Nigeria take foreigners, why would Nigerians take an Indian foreigner? And would an Indian go to Nigeria to live and play? No. Gabon, not happening. Congo, even no. Congo is at war. So again, please think before putting this out there, right? If ISL ends the season, Indian players can play in Bhutanese Premier League or Bangladesh or Maldives, or if Sri Lanka starts a league. Yeah, don't forget the Nepal Super League. Huh? I think India is a market of itself. That's why players are so comfortable. In that way, yes. Yeah. So therefore, yeah. So what does Bayern word mean? Why so many German clubs start naming Bayern? Bayern is the state of Bavaria, right? It is like calling your club Kerala Blasters, Odisha FC, right? So that's it, Bayern. But the other team is Bayer, Leverkusen, Bayer. Bayer is a company without an N. So, so that's it. In my opinion, Searle is better than Rahim. Rahim misses even simple chances. I don't think he's better than Rahim Ali. Does he miss simple chances? Will Suhail score of all the chances he got? Then I think watch CFL and some of the highlights in the last 2 years. Then I think you get an answer. And Rahim Ali's work rate is what I would say distinguishes him to other players. So that is what I would say, right? So therefore, that's something which is to be kept in mind, right? 42 minutes. Quick reminder: those of you who haven't you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind. 7 likes only today, so yeah, I think we can do better. And share it with others, and of course subscribe to the channel. We're currently at 2,514, so thank you for the new subscribers and those of you who have been there. Did a video today on the situation in regard to the master's rights agreement between AIFF and Reliance. So how's the situation? How can it move forward? What will happen? If you like to have a look at that, and yeah, let's see. Spain has Real clubs that show clubs made by monarchy. Germany's Bayern. So what does India have? As I said, you can name it by state, right? I mean, Bayern is the state of Bavaria. Therefore, you have Bayern München and FC Bayern Hof. So why Indian player don't go when inquiry made by foreign club for the club of Akash Mishra? Because that night most probably there wasn't an inquiry. That's what I'm saying. If you would believe all the rumors, not only in Indian football, but in the world of football, I don't know if the transfers that you see or the non-transfers, yeah. As an Odisha FC fan, Rahim is frustrating to watch, but he's playing in right back. His work rate is immense, and he runs a lot like Rahul K, but he just can't put the ball in net for some reason. Yeah, Aditya, that's his problem. But again, the work rate is something. I go back to that Stephen Constantine would have preferred him over others, right? So that's something which is there, right? So, yeah, that's the reality. 7 Pakistani local players are playing Afghanistan Champions League and Bhutan League, even though Afghanistan relationship being worse, what's stopping any players if ISL shut down? Hannibal, Pakistan doesn't have a proper league. So their situation, that is something which is a fact. So Indian players going abroad, where will they go? What are the options for an Pakistani player? Earns nothing, close to nothing. East Bengal close to signing Connor Shields as well. Okay. Mohun Bagan का RFDL team भी East Bengal को हरा देगा. Shubro, I don't think so. in that way, your logic doesn't work because it's not an RFTL team. If I look at the key players in Mohun Bagan today, they were all, you know, players of the first squad. So what suddenly went wrong for Raimali? Not suddenly. Raimali has been having this problem of, you know, an out-and-out Indian striker in the ISL these days. That's difficult. That is very, very difficult. And therefore, yeah, that's for him, for all the others as well. For a striker, the way to score matters. It does, but you know, some others will say, you know, also the amount of the work rate also counts. So that's something which needs to be kept in mind. So what's the history in terms of football before Berlin Wall fell? Did East and West German had its own league, and after Wall fell, how did they merge the league? Yeah, the West German league was the Bundesliga. So the Bundesliga was there, and the East German had the DDR Oberliga, as they call it, and the East German league was that the clubs were integrated into the German system. So the top two teams at the time moved from the East German Oberliga into the Bundesliga. So the Bundesliga expanded to 20 teams. Bundesliga 2 was expanded to 24 teams, and then they were, you know, shifted around. So yeah. So you suggest in order for Indian players to go abroad, we need to shut down ISL, either keep ISL then send Indian players out. This conversation of Indian players going out is an easy one, right? And yeah. So yeah. You know, even when ISL shuts down, I don't see the players going abroad. Why do you always speak in English while you also know Hindi? Just asking. Aditya, my Hindi is not good enough. My Hindi is pathetic, and so therefore, you know, I am more comfortable speaking English. Since you're following football since 1990s, did Indian football leagues happen during Kargil War? Yeah. Why would and nothing stopped? That was a skirmish happening up there. If you're calling it a war is nice, but you know, I think 95% of India continued with its life. आपके अंदर हो सौरभ अमरदीप साला रवि प्लेयर आफ्टर खेलता है Subra, first of all, speak with a little bit more respect, right? Sounds bad the way you've written it, first. And secondly, you've named 4 players. How many players are in a football team? So ask yourself before asking such a question. So why some football fans are toxic? Because they don't know better. Football has its problems, right? I mean, look at the whole situation around Real Madrid at the moment, right? Constantine, in his recent interview with the Indian Food and Football, said he was thinking of not selecting Sunil for 2019 AFC Asian Cup squad because he wanted him to retire in his decent form. Yeah, Stephen wanted to, I think, if I remember right, wanted to not take Sunil even in 2000. When was it? 2017, I think, right? So, yeah. Shubha is a Mohun Bagan supporter. So it doesn't matter. But it just proves a point, you know. So for me, you know, there is a way of talking or not talking. I'm fine. If this wasn't a platform, if I wasn't talking, you know, I show everyone respect, and I expect that the other side also shows respect. And I think I can take a little bit of an arrogance out here that I know most probably more than all of you put together. Sorry for saying that, but I'm saying it. So therefore, yeah. So therefore, yeah. And Shubro, for all the stuff you're saying, you're on a timeout, so yeah, doesn't make sense. Our neighbors don't know how to respect us, no respect. Yeah, that's it. Some Kerala Blasters C fans demanding to sack Kalata. Katala. Yeah, was bound to happen, right? That's how it's done at the Kerala Blasters. Yeah, sad to see that. Bit late to see a shocked or pleasant surprise by today's game result of Mohun Bagan Super Cup. I would be shocked, to be honest, because it questions Kerala Blasters. And yeah, credit to Mohun Bagan Super Giant. So that's it, Aditya, I would say. Right, and with that, I'll come slowly to an end of this live. Because yeah, as I said, I have to now head to judo and do a little bit of commentary of the German judo champions who come from yeah, and yeah, I look forward to things. So, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Catch you then. As I said, like, share, subscribe. You're on YouTube, on my other social medias, and I'll catch you tomorrow night. The game has just started, so let's see what Goa and Punjab do tomorrow. Inter Kashi versus Mumbai City FC, the early kickoff at 4:30, and then the late kickoff, Northeast United versus Jamshedpur FC. So I'm looking forward to both of those games. I'll see you and catch you then. Bye.